And also, I researched about it is that you said that like what you said, like your students, like those who do not have any experience, actually learn even faster than those with experience.
A lot of my students are totally newbie because for totally newbie, as long as they are action taker, they take massive action. Usually they deliver quite good results. The reason why we live here, okay, live our life is not to become a money-making machine ourselves. Okay, so why spend all your life to make money when you can empower, when you can leverage on systems, and you can spend your time for something better, more meaningful for you.
Is too good to be true always the Ponzi scheme?
Not really. The key thing here is to see whether it has sustainable business model. In Chinese, we call it 造血功能. Okay, a legitimate business must be able to generate healthy cash flow. Okay,
I heard about Geneva, Malaysia from others. Have you ever encountered it before?
Okay, I was approached by one of my friends many years ago. Okay, I think about 10 years ago. Okay,
Yeah.
She showed me her income statement. Monthly income statement is about 50,000 at the time, and
50,000 ringgit.
Malaysia ringgit at the time, and
One eternity later.
at the end, 35,000 investors estimated about ringgit Malaysia 10 billion or 2.2 billion US dollar was lost. Okay.
What I'm talking about might save your life someday, okay?
Okay, Mr. Mackey, okay.
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 Was affected, and the seizure and freezing of the Geneva, Malaysia Sdn Bhd accounts began on 1st and 2nd of October 2012.
10 years ago.
Yeah, 2012. The police, Ministry of Domestic Trades, Cooperatives and Consumerism, Companies Mission of Malaysia, and Bank Negara Malaysia, okay, raided its premises and those of its affiliates. The central bank revealed that about 99.8 million ringgit, Malaysia ringgit, from the Geneva, Malaysia Sdn Bhd accounts and 126 kilograms of gold were seized during the raid.
That's huge. About 10 billion ringgit affected in this case. So I'm just wondering, like, how does it really work? Like, how did your friend pitch you back then?
I was pitched by other people as well, not only my friend, but I prop further, but all I was told is business secret.
Okay.
It's business secret, so I don't know how. There's no way we can find. It doesn't make sense how they make the money. Okay, and the actual operation of the company is by selling gold at about 20 to 25% markup. Okay, markup higher than the market price at that time. Okay, paying returns about 2 to 3%, okay, per month to customers by buying back the gold from the customers, okay, at the initial purchase price. Is not sustainable because there's basically the operation is like buy sell agreement. You buy for example 100,000 of gold from them, and then you sell, which is a markup of 20 to 25% of the gold price, and then you sell them back. They give you back 100,000 1 month later, plus 3%.
Yeah,
6,000.
Yeah, I just
3,000.
try to make it like as a like, okay, by putting it in the math, right? So for example, today I buy gold from this Geneva, Malaysia. So I buy them using 100,000 ringgit, right? And then I will hold some physical gold as like an assurance. But
Yes.
this price is about 20 to 25% markup. So perhaps this gold that I'm holding is about 75,000 ringgit.
At the time, I was which
Yeah.
is about 22%.
So I'm not sure whether my math is right now. Let's say I pay 100,000 ringgit just to
Right.
hold 75,000 ringgit worth of gold at the moment. And then after, so do I get, like the return, right? You said about 2 to 3%. Do I get paid monthly or after I sell them back?
Every month, when the contract ends, you sell them back the gold.
Oh,
They give you back your money, original money, plus 3% on top of the
plus 2 to 3% on top of it. So this one is a fixed guarantee
yeah, sort
return.
Of, yeah, sort of.
So this is what they promise, right? Fixed return.
Yeah.
So for example, I try to redo the math, right? 100,000 ringgit, pay them to hold 75,000 ringgit worth of gold. And then after 1 month, let's say I just make it simple. After 1 month, I'm not sure what's the worth. Let's say the worth is fixed, right? 75,000 worth of gold, I give it back to them, but they still give me back my 100,000. On top of it, I will get 2,000 to 3,000 ringgit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so in this case, right, within 1 month, they need to churn out this kind of
Plus the
return on
commission.
investment.
Your
Yeah.
3,000 plus the commission is about 3,000 as well to the salesperson or referral. They have marketing plan and also their operation costs,
Yeah,
everything. So they need to make a lot more than that.
a lot more than
every
that.
month.
So I just assume, let's say
Compulsory.
for investor it's about 2 to 3%, and then for the salesperson, I just assume let's say 2 to 3% or maybe even more than that, right? And someone, you still need to generate profit for the management, the founders, the shareholders, right? And then on top of it, you still need to generate like some sort of money to cover the operation costs.
Operation cost,
Like,
premises,
yeah, to set up the Sdn Bhd or whatever, everything.
the staff.
And they need
salary,
to buy
all
gold
this.
first, right? How to say?
Yeah,
They need to
then-
buy
then-
gold for someone they need to buy the gold from someone to hold it.
Yeah, definitely. But it's already marked up. You help them to buy the gold.
Okay, I'm just wondering, at the point of time, do they really check the gold whether it's real or not? No, just something extra in my mind. In the math this way, right? It seems like it may not be sustainable.
Which is not very possible lah. I think at the time, because at the time gold price is going up,
it's
so
surging.
but they use this as a topic to collect money from the public. So the cash flow for the company to sustain its operation highly rely on the monies collected from the later comer or the new customers.
Yeah, that sounds like how the Ponzi scheme sustain their operation. Usually, right? That's
Yeah,
one.
this is a Ponzi scheme, or just like almost like a Ponzi scheme.
Almost like a Ponzi scheme. Okay. Do you have any words for the viewers, like how to prevent themselves from getting into this kind of mess?
I think prevention is better than cure. Always, the best investment is always in yourself, in ourselves. Okay, because to learn and master the skill set to consistently generating profits and returns from the market.
From the financial market.
From the financial market is always better than you rely on someone promise you or guarantee you, so-called guarantee you
Yeah.
the returns, the kind of returns. And the best part is once you master it, it's with you the rest of your life, forever. And you can even leave a legacy to your next generation. You can teach your children, pass to your family. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, the master the skill set is always the best. Okay, not to be too rely on all this sort of investment scheme.
Okay, so what I heard about maximum value, like the software that you develop,
Yeah,
once generated about, max, right, peak, right, like 1,700% from 100K to about million within a month.
yeah, definitely. That one is with some high leverage, but it is possible.
But it's very stressful during.
Very stressful, but this is possible. What I mean is possible. So when you have the skill set, the sky is your limit. There's no limit on how much you write your own check. you write your own check, so there's no limit on how much money you can make. Okay,
Yeah.
so
So now I just want to know about, like, for example, the software they will develop, right? It's more on the, because now, okay, previously the software they will develop is used by you, right? So definitely you know how to maximize its potential and everything. But now you want to share this the technology that you have owned for like 10 years to manage about 20 to 30 million US dollar kind of portfolio, right? So
in fact, most of our students
so now you want to like expand this to the masses, like to more public nowadays. So I just wondering, do you, how do you, like, is there like a transition period from you to step towards this, like from using by yourself, using for yourself, to sharing it with other people where they might not be as skillful as you?
That's definitely. Initially, I have some doubts in my mind as well. Should I do this? But after tested with one of my first student, okay, one of my very first student, the result is pretty good. After just 1, 2, 3 sessions, that he managed to trade and invest in 38 accounts alone, single-handedly, just by using systems, without help by anyone, any other people. So I think the result is quite good. And then I try with my second student, third student. The result is good as well, because most of them are able to master this within 1 or 2 sessions.
1 or 2 sessions, you mean like
A coaching.
a coaching session within 1
Yeah.
or 2 days?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So,
Okay.
I think, but the most important thing is invest in yourself by really master the skill set, rather than being conned by all this,
all these fake promises, right?
Promises, or do rely on all these fake promises.
Maybe I wouldn't say that they are fake. Maybe at the point in time they really think that they can generate that kind of return. Then after that they realize that, oh no,
Yeah.
it's not sustainable.
The problem is when you lose money, when you win money, you don't know how you win it. You don't know how you make the profit. When you lose money, you lose everything. Okay, at least when you master it by yourself, you win. You know how you win. You are going to be able to repeat the same results or similar results. Even if you lose, you learn some good lessons, and you know how to improve on it. Okay. The best part is, with today's technology, there are a lot of systems to help you to do this. And one of the problem most people having is they make money by trading their time, selling their time for money. Okay, which is my same problem. I have the same problem in my earlier years. Okay, I sacrifice a lot with my time with my loved one, time for myself, for my passion and everything. Sacrifice a lot, and the reason why I started the automatic system is just to solve this problem. So I really want to empower people, okay, not to, because the reason why we live here, okay, live our life is not to become a money making machine ourselves. Okay, so why spend all your life to make money when you can empower, when you can leverage on systems, and you can spend your time for something better, more meaningful for you.
So in your perspective, the software, the AI system that you develop is, okay, you envision that it's to assist human, right? Because most of the people that I know is that they resist tech because they think that, oh, one day the technology is going to replace us, replace our job, this kind of fear, this kind of unknown fear. So what you had in mind to develop this technology is that human is above the technology. It's to assist the human.
It's a tool to help you to do better, to help you to save your time. because we have to rest. As human, we need to rest. We need to eat. We need to drink. We might have emotional problem. We cannot monitor the market 24 hours, 7 days a week. But system can do that. Okay, system no need to eat, no need to drink, no need to rest. They can monitor 24 hours. You can treat it just like your staff. But now by training staff is not going to repeat the same results, because you teach the same thing to 10 people, 10 people is going to give you a different results. But when you use system to do it, they are going to give you similar results, very similar results.
So you mean that the system that you develop, it can generate a certain kind of a certainty, consistency,
yeah.
And because like what you said, right, human needs to sleep, needs to eat, needs to like have other kinds of problems, like family problem, all these things. Yeah. Or sometimes it's like it's not even a problem. Sometimes it's just got distracted.
Yeah, distraction. System don't have distraction.
Yeah, it's just like
they won't lose their focus. Human will lose focus.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing to me. I will lose my focus.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's to build a system. It's just like you do it once and you have repeated certainty of results along the way for the rest of your life. So this is the beauty of building systems, to help to leverage on system.
And you mentioned that because the system, let's say you develop a system, it can generate certain amount of certainty, right? Just like I think of an analogy. It's like car. When I forgot who built the first car, but let's say I say Ford. In America, Ford like built its first car, so it would provide a certain a certainty, right? Like how you travel from A to B.
Yeah. Just like you travel from Malaysia, from Singapore to US. Okay, are you going to walk, swim across the ocean, or you travel by flight, by plane? So just like when you travel from one city to another, are you going to travel by vehicle, by bus, by car, or just walk? So it's the same thing. So here you can do it with system, leverage on system, or you do everything manually. Just like making money, you can do everything manually, keep selling your time for money, which is very short offers. The time is very short, no matter you are rich or poor. Or you can leverage on tools and systems to help you to multiply your time. Imagine you have 10 systems running for you. It's just like you have 10 times 24 hours. 10 times 24 hours, which is even, no matter how hardworking we are, we can't work 24 hours.
Yeah.
For the rest of our life. That's the thing, sir. You have 100 systems running for you, is like 100 times 24 hours. It's duplicable. You can multiply your time. The best part is the cost is low. The cost is very low, and you will achieve certainty on the results you want. Rather than you train 10 people, so you the same skill set you teach to 10 people, you are not going to get the same results.
And you also mentioned that there might be some human factor when it comes to using a software. Yeah, because it's like, for example, person A and person B. Person A is like a more person A is a risk taker, for example. Then person B is more like a very risk averse kind of person. So does your software like able to cater, can be used by different people?
Yeah, definitely. Because just like driving a car, you can drive very fast, right? You can drive it very slow and steady, right?
Yeah.
So it's up to you. Of course, you drive fast, you take some risk. Okay, you drive slow and steady, of course it's safer. But it's your choice. You can drive fast, you can drive slow. So rather than you don't have car.
Yeah, that's true.
You just walk.
You just walk
Across city, across country, right? So having tools and having without tools is different. Still very different.
Okay, so I like the analogy that you said about the car. So just now, because I did research on your software, it says that you generated 1,700%. That's the peak performance per month in a month. So that's like I would say that's like like the sports car, right? They always like test the limit of the car, like how fast they can drive. But you won't recommend. I mean, like that has to be driven by a skill.
We won't be doing it every time, right?
Yeah, exactly. And also, it has been done by a skilled,
Yeah.
a skilled driver at the same time, right?
Yeah, definitely. So if you are a skilled driver, for example, you are very skillful, you might perform even better than that. But you won't be doing it all the time, right? Yeah, so you have the skill set to do that, but you won't be doing it all the time.
Yeah, so it's either like what they say is like this one depends on the person. Like some people like to be sprinter, like some people like to be marathoner. Yeah. So I guess that's what your software can cater as well. For those who like to have a short win, or for those who want to have like a consistent and long win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You have the car whereby you can drive 170 km per hour, and you won't be doing it all the time, right? Also depends on the traffic. Okay, so a lot of things we need to consider.
So I imagine also when we grow older, like for example for me, right? Like, I mean, when I was young, then it's like for those that when I was young, I will be a bit more risk taking, I would say, at the point in time, right? So when I myself, when I grow older, then slowly I'll look for something more consistent.
Yes, steady. Yeah. So sometimes maybe you enjoy some sightseeing while driving the car, slow and steady, rather than just keep speeding right all the time.
So what I'm trying to say is that what I'm trying to summarize is that your software can actually cater to those who has a high risk appetite and low risk appetite.
Yeah.
For those who want to like earn fast and slow.
The most important thing now is you are in control. When you know how to do this, you are in control. But if you don't know how to do this, you have no control at all.
So you mentioned that
because when you pass to someone else, you are not the one in control.
So you mentioned that this. I just want to reiterate for our audience here is that your software can be taught. So what you're trying to say here is that anyone can learn.
That is plug and play and profit.
Yeah, play and play.
Of course, the skill set can be taught.
The skill set.
The system is plug and play and profit. It's very simple. So just like the car, it is there for you to drive.
Yeah. You still need to learn how to drive.
You still need to learn how. If you want to really speeding or do speeding, you still need to learn, right? You still need to practice, right? Rather than the first time you drive the car, immediately you drive to the max, right? So it won't be the case.
Yeah, exactly.
So you still need to learn how to do that.
So last time you said that your first student actually just took like 2 to 3 sessions.
To kickstart and able to
make profit.
Make profit and running 38 accounts simultaneously. But because it's system, right? System is the one that runs 38 accounts.
But it seems like this one, right, is like it goes to is your student newbie at that point of time?
Totally
was
newbie.
he experienced totally newbie?
Totally, a lot of my students are totally newbie because for totally newbie, as long as they are action taker, they take massive action. Usually they deliver quite good results.
It's like they don't have like a fixed connotation, a fixed mindset, right?
Yeah, they keep growing.
They keep growing because they have nothing like that. No, like for me, right, from 0% to 1%.
Yeah, empty cup. Empty cup. You can fill any drinks, any delicious drink.
Yeah, and also I researched about it is that you said that like what you said, like your students, like those who do not have any experience, actually learn even faster than those with experience.
Because when you have some experience in anything, and you keep holding your old or past experience, it might hinder you from stop you from learning faster.
because a lot of things are trying to block you
Yeah, there are a lot of
to
blockage.
absorb the new knowledge, right?
Absorb a new one, and because your old experience might not be applicable in this situation, in the new area.
Exactly. But it's quite impressive though, because it's like most of the trader, I would say a new trader that I knew when I was younger. So apparently like they think that they need to take like months, years, or even decades, right, to master the skill, because that's what they have in their mind. But for you, right, with the assistance of your software, they can actually elevate their trading or investing experience like faster than the others already. Like what you said, like your student actually took only 2 to 3 days to know how to manage like 38 portfolios at the same time.
Yeah, take the analogy of the car. It's the same thing. You travel from one city to another, probably which is, let's say, 300 kilometers away from where you are, your destination.
Yeah.
No matter how fast you run,
Yeah.
you are not going to beat a beginner who drive a car, even no matter how slow they drive.
Yeah.
Okay, they are going to be faster than you.
Understood.
This is a person. This is one just an analogy where no matter how fast you run, yeah. So because you with your legs, 2 legs, you're not going to beat a beginner that drive a car, no matter how slow they drive, to reach 300 kilometer, reach the destination 300 kilometer away from you.
Okay. I think that's all from me. So if you do have any question for Max, right, to know like for example the software, the masterclass, I think he does provide software with masterclass so that you know how to use the software properly. Do let him know. You can comment down below, like let him know any question you want to ask about.
Okay, we are going to have a free masterclass. Okay, the first session we are going to give it for free for a limited period of time. Okay, if you are keen, then you can register for that.
Okay.
See you soon,
Remember to subscribe our channel. Yeah.
and see you in the next video.
And next video, right?
Yeah.
You
So,
always say that. Alright, okay, thank you.
thank you.